Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitz TV here, aka G133. I'm back here today with another video on the channel for you guys, and today we're talking about the Dragon Ball Super Manga. I know it's been a while. The Dragon Ball Super Manga went on hiatus, I believe, back in August after the Granola arc ended. It's been, 2-3 months now since we haven't had a manga chapter, but we finally have news about the Dragon Ball Super Manga's return, and we get this via DBS Hype and some V-Jump leaks, right? It's about the middle of the month, and this is usually where we get V-Jump leaks every month. So we have news on the return of the Dragon Ball Super Manga. We're going to be talking about that today, and I'm gonna be bringing back the Dragon Ball Super videos. I know I haven't been making as many videos as of late, but those will be coming back, so don't worry, I'm not gone. All right, I just haven't been making as many videos as of late. I've had some other things happening, but I'm still here, guys. But in terms of the Dragon Ball Super manga, right, December is going to be a huge month for Dragon Ball. We have Dragon Ball Superhero. It'll be coming out on Blu-ray, DVD, and I believe it's going to be coming out in like 4K UHD, which is, I think, the first time we've ever had a Dragon Ball film come out in 4K. So I'm going to be getting it. I had the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie on Blu-ray, and I watch every here and there, and I cannot wait to see the superhero movie on DVD. Definitely probably going to be making some videos on that. We're also going to be getting, most likely, the announcement of the next Dragon Ball anime, right? I know for now, 3, 4, 5 years almost, we've been waiting for the return of Dragon Ball Super ever since the end of the Tournament of Power, and we've had 2 movies in that span, right? The DBS manga has done 2 full arcs. And it's getting ready to start its third arc. Its third new arc since the end of the Dragon Ball Super anime. But we've had the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. We've also had the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, right? But we haven't had the anime. But a report from credible sources, if you guys have been on Twitter, you guys have heard of this DBS 2019 guy. He's very credible. He has like a question mark as his profile pic. He has said that the plan for the announcement of the next Dragon Ball anime is going to come out after the release of the Dragon Ball Superhero film. On Blu-ray. We do know that Jump Fiesta is happening in a couple weeks, but it's likely that we won't get any major Dragon Ball news coming out of that. It's probably going to be more just hyping up the superhero movie, right? Hyping up the manga and the new arc a little bit, but probably no big news in terms of Dragon Ball Super coming back, or the next Dragon Ball anime, or whatever it's going to be. But based on credible sources, they've been planning the announcement for a while, and we've been expecting an announcement for the next Dragon Ball anime for a while now. But it seems like we're finally gonna get it, after the Dragon Ball Superhero Blu-ray release in early December, which should be exciting. I know there's been some conflicting reports about what we're going to get. Some people, we've heard rumors of a weekly anime. We've also heard rumors of potentially a web exclusive anime, right? We've heard rumors of potentially a new Super Dragon Ball Heroes anime, and we've also, of course, heard news of, the return of Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Super, covering the Granola and the Moro arcs, and et cetera, right? Honestly, I don't know what the announcement is going to be. In my prediction, I would expect it to be the return of Dragon Ball Super, and most likely covering the Granola and the Moro arcs, right? And etc., whatever comes in the future. But I do not know. I truly do not know anything at this moment. All right. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see. My prediction will be that it will be the return of Dragon Ball Super, but it could be something completely new. I do expect, no matter what, the Dragon Ball Super anime to return, no matter if it's the continuation of Dragon Ball Super or if it's Dragon Ball Super 2, right? I do expect Dragon Ball Super to come back as an anime eventually, sometime in 2023. but I have no idea what's gonna be the anime announcement we get next month. It could be Dragon Ball Super, it could be Dragon Ball Heroes, it could be something completely new. Who knows? But I do expect the I do expect us to get the announcement of what's the future of the Dragon Ball anime next month, and we'll just have to take it from there. All right, and of course, I'll be covering all that juicy news on the channel. But let's get to this, right? Let's get to this. The Dragon Ball Super Manga. So we've been waiting to see when the Dragon Ball Super Manga was going to return, right? And we know it's been about 2-3 months now since the manga's been on hiatus. But Victory Ochida did tell us earlier this year that a new manga arc would be starting this year. And if we were going to take his advice to heart, now that we're at the end of 2022, it would make sense for the Dragon Ball Super manga to return in December to start the new arc, as we were told earlier this year. And this is what we have. We have this from VJump Links, right? Thank you to DBS Hype. It's not translated really, but we have DBS Hype, does a good job of basically telling us what the scan says. And he says, news, Dragon Ball Super manga returns next month on December 20th. Usually the manga comes out, on the 19th, the 20th, the 21st. A new arc begins. Goten and Trunks will become superheroes? ? All eyes on the duo. Expect to see a lot of Gohan and Piccolo in the manga. Story is prequel to superhero events that happen just before the movie. So yeah, there's a lot that's basically told us just in this short thing, right? First off, this arc is going to be a prequel. So for most of you guys, I'm assuming most of you guys have seen the superhero movie, right? I know there's many people out there that read the manga that may not watch the anime. I know there's people out there that only watch the anime and don't read the manga, right? But for the most part, I'm assuming most of you guys read the manga and probably for most of my viewers, you probably read the manga and you watch the anime, right? This takes place before the superhero movie, which is a little bit weird, but you also got to think about how everything that's happened in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, the Dragon Ball Super timeline, everything that's happened takes place before the end of DBZ, where Goku meets Oob for the first time. Everything that's happened. And it's wild when you think about it. We've had Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, the Universe 6, Universe 7 tournament, Goku Black Arc, the Tournament of Power. We've had the Broly movie. We've had the Mora arc. We've had the Granola arc, right? We've had the superhero movie. Now we're having this prequel arc, whatever you want to call it, and this is basically like the 10th story arc of Dragon Ball Super, both anime and manga, right? The 10th official story arc, really, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, we've had 10, story arcs now between the anime and the manga. And it's wild to think about. Remember, all of this takes place before the end of Z in the official Dragon Ball timeline, right? So this takes place before the superhero movie. That this officially confirms that the Mora arc and the Granola arc take place before superhero. That is no longer a debate. Even though we pretty much already knew that, right? This 100% confirms, because this takes place after the Granola arc, but before the superhero movie. So the events of the Mora arc and the Granola arc, right, take place before the superhero movie. One thing is, there was this debate that the superhero movie was canon, right? The superhero movie follows the events of the anime. So the superhero movie takes place after the Tournament of Power, after the Broly movie in the anime. But we know that basically in the manga, most of the events are the same, but the manga does kind of its own continuity, right? What the manga does and what the anime does, for the most part, are the same. It's just that sometimes the events that, take place in a different order. Like if you compare the Tournament of Power in the manga to the anime, for the most part, the story is the same, but there are, different variations of, what happens, right? Like the way Goku gets Uiomen for the first time in the manga is different than the way it is in the anime in the Tournament of Power, right? In the Goku Black arc in the manga, we see Vegeta use Super Saiyan God. He doesn't use Super Saiyan God in the Goku Black arc in the anime. So things like that. So for the most part, the story is pretty much the same, but there are some changes here and there. So basically, what I'm saying here is the superhero movie does take place in the manga, but it might the events of the superhero movie might transform a little bit differently. Like for example, when the Broly movie came out, remember Toritaro did address the Broly movie in the manga. There's a couple pages in the manga, I believe, right before the Mora arc begins. There's a couple pages that talk about the Broly movie, right? And you could see, Super Saiyan Broly going up against Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. And there's a couple other panels of, Gogeta Blue versus Broly, right? But, for them, so, it's a little bit different than what we saw in the actual Broly movie in the anime. So for the most part, things are the same. It's just that the sequence of events, might be a little bit different from the manga and the anime, just because the continuities are different. But for the most part, everything else is the same. All right, it's pretty much the same story with the events, taking place in a different order, if that makes sense. And maybe I need to make a separate video to really explain it to you guys, but really, I would hope that you guys understand that. But yeah, so the Granola and the Morarks do take place before the superhero movie. So that means in the superhero movie, right, Vegeta did have Ultra Ego, right? Goku was able to go Ultra Instinct at will. Black Frieza had already happened, and all these other things. So now that we can officially confirm that the Granola and the Mora arcs take place before superhero, right? There's a lot of other stuff that we can now confirm as well. But yeah, so it's cool that we're gonna get to see teen Goten and Teen Trunks in the manga. We have not seen Goten and Trunks featured in the manga really at all. I'm trying to think. When have we seen Goten and Trunks in the manga? I think last time we saw them, they were protecting 17's island during the Moro arc, if I remember correctly, and they were still kids. So clearly some time has passed since then, now that they're in their teenage years. But remember, the superhero movie did tell us that that Saiyans, especially they do age and they grow at a big rate. There comes a time when they go through a huge growth spurt in a very short amount of time. So definitely that kind of explains Goten and Trunks being getting bigger and older very, very quickly. So but it is going to be very cool to see Teen Goten and Teen Trunks in the manga. You can see this is in color here, but of course the manga's in black and white. They look exactly like they do in the superhero movie. Remember, this is a prequel, so probably the amount of time between this story and the superhero movie is probably not long. It could be really days or weeks, if we're being honest with ourselves. But, yeah, you can see Teen Trunks here, right? He has his blue hair, just like he does in the movie as well. You see their outfits, right? It says to us that Goten and Trunks will become superheroes. That kind of plays off the point that the superhero movie, right? It's called Superhero. It'll be interesting to see what does this mean. Could we see Goten and Trunks doing something with Jacko, right? Could this mean that something happens on Earth while let's say Goku and Vegeta are training with Beerus and Whis? Because we know that's really what Goku and Vegeta have been doing, right? Goku's trying to master Ultra Instinct more. Vegeta's working on his Ultra Ego. I don't know, but it'll be very interesting. I do not expect this arc, and this is just me talking, I don't expect this arc to be as long as the Granola or Mora arcs. The Granola arc and Mora arcs were both almost 2 years long separately. So almost 4 years it took for both those stories to be told, right? I don't expect this to be long at all. This is a prequel. This might just be a side story, right? I could see Toritaro just doing something here and this setting up for, a much bigger arc, right? And I know a lot of people are going to make little theories, that this might, whatever we see in this little story arc, especially since we know that this takes place after Granola but before the superhero movie, right? This could set up potentially for people might make theories that during the superhero movie that Goku and Vegeta are training with Broly on Beerus's planet to get ready for a rematch with Frieza. Now that it's been confirmed that Black Frieza is more powerful than Goku and Vegeta currently, right? There's gonna be a lot of theories out there, but until we actually see what Torotoro has planned for this story arc, however long it's gonna be, we don't know anything, right? All we know is that this takes place after the Granola arc, before the superhero movie. I think this is fun. I love that we're getting Goten and Trunks back in the story. I've been calling for it. A lot of people in the community have been calling it for really years now. They want more Goten and Trunks. We saw how successful the superhero movie was, with the focus being on Gohan and Piccolo. Now we're getting Goten and Trunks back involved, and I love that. This could lead to something much bigger down the road. Maybe some kind of big war arc. Who knows? But the fact that we're seeing, Goten and Trunks being put back in the story, and Gohan and Piccolo have been, kind of scaled where they're now a little more on par with Goku and Vegeta with their transformations and power ups in the superhero movie. That's exciting. And then of course we have Broly, as well. Some exciting stuff, really exciting stuff. It does says here that Gohan and Piccolo will it says expect to see a lot of Gohan and Piccolo in the manga. Remember, this is a prequel to the superhero movie, and we know, like, in the superhero movie, Gohan has to, when he's fighting Gamma 1, that's when he kind of remembers who he is. He remembers how strong he is, right? He gains his fighting senses back, and he goes back into Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, and of course, his ultimate form, and then eventually the Beast Gohan form that we see at the end of the movie, right? So it will be interesting to see, if Gohan and Piccolo are involved, how powerful they are, because we know this takes place before the superhero movie, right? And we know that Gohan and Piccolo both get huge power-ups during the superhero movie. And we also know that before the superhero movie, Gohan has really not been training. Piccolo has been, but Piccolo doesn't get his ultimate form or his orange Piccolo form. He doesn't get that until the superhero movie as well. So it will be interesting to see. I'm happy that Gohan and Piccolo will be involved in this arc as well, but it will be interesting to see how much they are involved, because we don't know how powerful they're gonna be. Especially since they get a lot more powerful in the superhero movie. DBS Hype and DBS Chronicles just tweeted some things out right as I'm making this video. So we got some more information on DBZ Kakarot and new Bardock DLC that's supposed to be coming out early next year. So cool stuff there. Let me see. Where is it? DBS Hype just tweeted it out. Don't want to miss it. So Hype tweeted this out on his other Twitter account. I hate when he does that, when he just switches between his Twitter accounts. But this is just more of a better look at Goten and Trunks' outfits. Like I said, look, they got superhero capes, which is kind of cool. Trunks' outfit reminds me a little bit of what Vegeta wore in Resurrection F and the Universe 6, Universe 7 tournament arc. I don't really know what Goten is wearing, but like I said, I am very excited to see this. If you notice, Trunks has a 1 on his belt, right? And he's holding up. It looks like he's holding up the 1 finger. And you see Goten. You would think that Goten's holding up the peace sign, but it seems like Goten's actually holding up a 2. So Trunks has a 1, Goten has a 2, and I'm willing to bet if we had a better view of Goten's belt here, he probably has a 2 on it. So I don't know. Maybe this is like a little Easter egg that Tortaro was giving us as a little prequel of what would have became when, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 in the superhero movie. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe Tortaro took some inspiration from what Toriyama did with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Because I do, that's their outfits alone. They do remind me a little bit of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. But of course, we'll have to wait until the manga returns next month to see, what the plan is. Which, I do hate that we do have to wait a whole month to see what the story is going to look like. But it is what it is, right? But yeah, I am excited for the manga to come back. But anyway, this is what Chronicles tweeted out real quick. He tweeted out L for people expecting a Black Frieza or a War arc. I still think we could get a Black Frieza or War arc in the future. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be a super long arc, right? Especially since it's a prequel to the superhero movie. But we'll have to wait and see what the actual plan is. Maybe they are planning something much bigger, with Black Frieza or a War arc. We'll have to wait and see. Remember, the plan for the manga was, remember what they told us months ago, that the plan from the manga was to continue the story really of Goku and Vegeta. You're right, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, remember I talked about this earlier. This was right before the Mora arc began. Remember, Toriyama did mention the Broly movie, right? The Broly movie does take place in the manga's continuity, So you can see, right, Broly in his Super Saiyan form, not his full power Super Saiyan, but Broly in his normal Super Saiyan form, him going up against Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So yeah. And then Chronicle says, expect his first in-chapter appearance in this new manga arc. So yeah, and yeah, I do think they'll probably show. I think there's gonna be some cool, since it is a prequel to the superhero movie. I think we'll see some cool things like how Broly ended up, on Beerus's planet, right? Maybe Goku goes to visit Broly on planet Vappa and then invite him over to Beerus's planet. I do think we're gonna get to see that, and that's gonna be that'll be some cool stuff. I love that slice of Earth stuff. Really do. I think that's gonna be really cool. But yeah, but other than that, that's about it for now. I know I kind of made this into a longer video, but I know we haven't talked about Dragon Ball for a while, and it feels good to be talking about Dragon Ball Super again. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated, of course, with any other Dragon Ball Super news. Like I said, I do expect some more as we get closer. December is going to be a big month, right? I think after Thanksgiving, things are really going to heat up. We got the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie coming out on Blu-ray. We have the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga from its hiatus. And then, we should be getting news about the future of the Dragon Ball anime. No matter if that's Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Heroes, whatever. We should be getting news on that very, very soon. So a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to in the coming months. So like I said, if you guys want to be updated with everything going on, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitz TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Follow me down on social media. The links are down below. I will see you guys later. Stay safe and healthy, y'all.